Okay. So, Kyra, for the flour for the um, velouté sauce, I'm gonna turn my
Mm-hmm.
screen on so everybody in the class can also see it. The flour for the velouté sauce. What is the as purchase for all-purpose flour?
It's $17.36 per 50 pounds.
Okay. And the recipe amount is
90 ounce, no, 9
nine
ounces.
ounces. Okay, cool. So this 9 ounces is already in weight. So you don't need to use the conversion website. All right. The only time we use the conversion website is when it is in volume, like tablespoon, teaspoon, cups. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you divide, talk to me about how you work through the process to find out what the cost per ounce is.
So the first time I did that, I looked back on some of the recordings from different classes, and you
Huh.
took the pounds and you converted that to ounces. So I did the 50 times 16, and that gave me 800 ounces.
Okay.
And then I don't know if it was the way I was doing the math was weird, but it gave me an answer, and so I entered it into the quiz, and it was wrong.
What answer did you put into the quiz?
Hang on, let me do the math again real quick. Uh, so it was, and then for that, so for the amount of money, it was like for the 17, that part, is essentially just 2 cents, and for the 9 ounce conversion, or after I multiplied that by 800, that was like 1 cent.
What did you multiply by 800?
I didn't multiply. I divided it, but
Okay.
since it
So what did you divide by 800? 9 ounces?
oh wait, no, not this. Sorry. I did multiply it by the point 2 cents and all that, but and so I put that answer in the quiz, and that was wrong.
Right. So, and that's the issue right here. So if we have a third decimal number, we are always going to round up to the nearest penny. So this is
Okay.
actually going to be 3 cents per ounce.
Okay.
So that's the error. So you're doing all the steps correctly. It's just you forgot to round up to the nearest penny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if you look at my thing, you'll just see a bunch of all these zeros.
Yeah. So that's what you're going to multiply by the 9 ounces to get your answer.
And so, okay, hang on. That's the wrong thing. Okay. 27 cents. Yeah. Okay. Let me just. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions you need help with? If you are done with, what do we have coming up next week? Um, if you are done with,
Thank you, sir.
you're very welcome. Next week is no, it's today. Next week is the grilled zucchini, the sour cream red potatoes, and Texas pecan honey sauce. If you're done with those three recipes and you're caught up with everything else, then you're welcome to log off. Otherwise, I will be here to answer any questions. Um, Let me double check in your modules.
Mr. Aminsky, I have a question.
All right, give me 1 second. Let me finish this, Andrew, and
Yes,
then I
sir.
will. Yeah. So if you look in the modules, the zucchini recipe example is here. So you can actually click and watch this video, and it'll go step by step by step of the zucchini recipe. Okay. So what I would recommend is that if you're still having troubles with the recipes, is I would recommend go ahead and work out the zucchini recipe. Okay. Have your work side by side and then watch the video, and then you can see where the errors and the mistakes are happening. Okay. So that is there. The zucchini recipe is there for you to, and that is in the recorded lectures module. Okay. So in reality, you really only have two recipes due next week because the zucchini is here for you to watch. All right, Andrew, what is your question?
On the pepper, rosemary, and cheese bread,
Uh-huh.
um, for the price of provolone cheese, that's not on the Chef Tech inventory.
Okay, did you check the semester project notes?
Let me
Bro,
check
dude,
that.
bro. I trying to talk to him.
Are you doing the
Oh,
Parmesan or the provolone? Yeah, the provolone is listed in the semester project notes.
okay. Oh, I see it there. Thank you much.
You're welcome.
Oops.
Let me keep my chat going.
Jeff Aminsky.
Yes, sir.
So I'm trying to figure out the provolone. Provolone in the semester note says it's 2.75 per pound. And the recipe calls for 4 cups. 1 cup is 8 ounces. Two would be 16 ounces, or 1 pound. So
Tanner,
straight conversion says it should.
Tanner, I'm going to stop you right there. Did you watch the video that I sent you in that email response?
No.
Okay. That answer is answered in the video.
God, why can't it just be straight math?
So olive oil is not needed on the conversion website.
Oh
Why
no.
is that?
Uh,
Which recipe are we looking at?
the pepper, rosemary, and cheese bread.
Okay, cool.
8 tablespoons of olive oil. Oh, because olive oil's weight is the same as,
Olive oil is a liquid, correct?
yeah,
Yeah. So if olive oil is a liquid,
and
then 8 tablespoons of oil converts to how many ounces?
8 ounces. No,
How many is in 1 tablespoon?
half an ounce.
Okay. So
So
half
then
an
that's
ounce.
4 ounces.
There you go.
Cool. Never mind. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sometimes it just takes talking through it.
Second guessing. I swear it's just 1/16. You can't do that. Like
Oh, yeah.
you get those.
So that's how much 16
Yeah.
only to you. That's one.
Price wise, right?
Yeah.
I know, but I'm trying to convert that into the amount of in pounds.
Which is multiplied.
Okay, sir. So running it through AquaCalc, it said that I would need 0.99 pounds of that 4 cups would equal 0.99 pounds.
Okay, that's Parmesan cheese, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's let me check my notes again. Oh, this is confusing.
Yeah, but the cups had to be converted.
Because it says it's 3.96 per pound, $3.96 per pound. I ran it through calculations and got 392, more specifically 392.04 or 3.9204. Rounding up, that should make it 393. So I entered that into the quiz and it told me it was wrong.
Okay, cool. So so you said 396 per pound, correct? Is
Yes.
the as purchase amount? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna double check that. Let me go to my, um, there we go. Yes. Okay. So 396 per pound is correct. Okay. Perfect. And then when we go to the food calculator, so we have 4 cups of Parmesan cheese. Did you scroll down and get to the shredded Parmesan cheese?
I do not believe so because I went through Parmesan cheese. I typed it in and it couldn't find Parmesan cheese shredded, so I just went straight through Parmesan cheese. That's
Okay.
probably my problem.
Yeah, so make sure when you get to so the Parmesan, if you just go with the very first option, then sometimes that's not the correct one. So you have to click on the select a food, and we want to look for Parmesan shredded. And so when we do that, this looks like it's 0.71 pounds.
We get 0.71, which is where my problem is. Thank you.
You're welcome. Uh-huh.
So for taste, we got for the AP it was 2.66 a pound. And then the recipe calls for 1 ounce. We were trying to convert it on there, but what I'm thinking is you convert the ounces to the pounds because that's what the pounds is for purchasing. And then you're gonna multiply that.
Okay, so how much is the yeast per the 2 pounds?
For the 2 pounds, it's 531.
Okay.
But for 1 pound, it's 266.
Okay, and we need how much?
We need
Okay, cool. So you divided this by 2
yes,
and you got 266 per pound.
yes.
Okay, cool. Do our units match yet? No. Okay. Which one would be easier to convert to? Do we go pounds to ounces or do we go from ounces to pounds? The pounds to ounces would probably be the easiest, right? Because we divide this by 16 ounces and you would get your cost per ounce. Now, if the ounces for the rest, let's say for the yeast was 4 ounces. Well, 4 ounces we know is a quarter of a pound. That's a really easy conversion, right? 1 ounce is not an easy conversion when it comes to converting from ounces to pounds. Okay. So that's why when you have both of these right here in front of you, the AP and the recipe, you can decide, okay, which side am I going to get down to?
Because I know it's a dry ingredient, so we have to go to that. Sorry.
You only go to the dry ingredient, you only go to the website if it's in volume. So if it said a teaspoon of yeast, then yes, we would go to the volume. We go to the volume to weight, right? Because we're going to go from volume to weight. So the teaspoon of yeast to the weight of the yeast.
Or it depends.
We only go to the website when it is a dry ingredient, when it is a volume measurement. This ounce is already in weight. This 1 ounce is already in weight of a unit. So we don't have to use the website at all.
Okay.
If it was, like I said, if it was a tablespoon of yeast, then yes, we'd have to go to the website to figure out how much a tablespoon of yeast weighs. But this is already in weight. It's already a weight of 1 ounce.
Okay, so in my recipe thing, and it knows which isn't a volume, so I don't have to.
Correct.
But if it was, say, 1 cup, I would have to go to the website.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Okay. And not to throw a wrinkle in it, but if it's a volume like olive oil, right, those ounces are volume because it's a liquid ingredient. So if it says 1 cup of olive oil, that is 8 ounces of olive oil because it's a liquid. Because we know that 1 tablespoon is half of a fluid ounce. Okay. So that's half of a fluid ounce of volume in 1 tablespoon. So 1 cup is 8 ounces of fluid, 8 fluid ounces. And so when I have a cup of olive oil or a cup of vinegar, I can convert that to 8 ounces because I know it's volume. Okay. It's a liquid. So I would not go to the website because it's a volume measurement. So that's why when you see tablespoon, teaspoon, cup, the first question you should ask yourself is this liquid or is it dry? If it's dry, we go to the website. If it's liquid, we can use that conversion, that known conversion. Yep. Andrew, go ahead.
I got the recipe subtotal and the Q factor, total recipe, all of that correct, but one of my ingredient prices was incorrect.
Yeah. So that is common. That might happen.
Okay.
So the reason why that might happen is because there's a margin of error
Oh, gotcha.
on each ingredient. So let's say the margin of error is 3 cents. That means with the individual ingredients, you can be plus or minus 3 cents, and Canvas will still count it correct.
Oh, okay.
If you're outside that 3 cents, then Canvas will count it incorrect. Okay.
Gotcha.
But at the very bottom, when it comes to the total, in order for things to add up correctly, I have to account for all the margin of error of every ingredient, just in case students are off by a few pennies. And so that's why sometimes if you're right on the dot with most of your recipe, most of your ingredients, but one of them you're outside that margin of error, when you get to the bottom, the answers may appear correct, which they are because they're within that total margin of error for the recipe.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And in reality, I mean, yes, I would love for you to have a perfect score on every single quiz. So if you can
Right.
get that one or two ingredients that are off, to get them answered correctly, that'd be awesome. However, the key answer is that per unit cost, the
Yeah.
per portion cost. That's the key answer. So if you have that correct, then in theory, you could also do the final calculations.
Right. Okay.
Chef Aminsky.
Yes, sir.
So currently I'm trying to do the rosemary, and said do rosemary whole from the Chef Tech inventory list. I put it into the whatchamacallit, the aqua calc, but it's popping up with panko and organic rosemary, neither of which I know is correct.
Okay. So let me look at that real quick. Trying to figure out why.
I think I got it because I put in rosemary whole, not rosemary fresh, or just rosemary.
There you go. Yeah. So sometimes if you try to put too much information in, it may not. Yeah. So that's a good idea. Just go ahead and put the keyword in there.
So use rosemary fresh.
What is the recipe called for?
The recipe calls for dried, but the chef text says in rosemary whole.
Well, so the rosemary whole can still be dried. You can buy dried rosemary that's whole, not crushed up. So let me just look real quick at
Well, it's also your discussion notes for the project says use rosemary whole.
right. So if you look, let's look at these two different rosemaries that are on here, okay? So if we look at this rosemary, that's 55 cents for 1 ounce. That's one of the options. The other recipe, the other rosemary is the whole, which is one I want you to use. Let's look at the ingredients that are around those specific rosemaries, okay? If we look here, we have ground black pepper, crushed red pepper, pumpkin pie spice, ground sage, kosher salt. So those are all ingredients that are already dried, right? Those are spices that you're going to see in the pantry. If we look at the other rosemary, we have fresh ginger, fresh marjoram, fresh oregano. That's going to be like your herbs that are fresh. Okay. So sometimes we have to take a moment and do some context clues and some critical thinking to figure out what is that ingredient. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know this because I got that mistake on the first time is when you said rosemary. I looked in the spices, not the herbs. Yeah, I looked in the no, sorry, I looked in the spices, not the herbs. So when I saw rosemary, I used dried rosemary, not the rosemary whole that was listed in the herbs.
Yeah. And so if we use the spices rosemary dried, now this is for 4 cups. What does the recipe amount say?
8 tablespoons.
Okay.
So you round it to the next.
So 8 tablespoons looks like to me 0.93 ounces or 0.06 pounds.
So less than an ounce. Gotcha. Question:
Mhm.
if I ran that calculation through, say, Google Gemini, would it give me a correct answer or no?
Probably not. And the reason why is because remember, we're rounding up to the nearest penny. When you do it in something like that's a computer generated, like when I put stuff into Excel, Excel is always going to use general math rounding. But for this project, we're always going to round up to the nearest penny. So that's going to throw your answers off just a little bit.
All right, gotcha.